Welcome to Meaningful Mornings. Please relax the body, enjoy the breath, and pray with the mind. Speakers in our community from Toronto, Debdullah, his parents have passed away, Gitaji, Gauraji, offer the balance of your physical health and the balance of your mental health to our friend, to his parents who are continuing their journey to joy. Sahana Bhavatu. May all be safe on earth. May all be safe in any dimension. What is very, very, very lovely about the prayer we just offered, I've never met Debdullah. He had made a donation through Canada Helps, and then naturally I get to track that. And this is incredible because however he's joining, whether it's through Meaningful Mornings or our podcast, YouTube channel, whatever way, he feels that close to this community. And we do too. I can share anyone's name, and I know you will pray for them. The 18th chapter has 3 key words: Tyaga, Sannyasa, Moksha. Tyaga is renouncing results. If checked, then sannyasa. Sannyasa is surrendering actions. If checked, moksha has nothing to do with results or actions. It is being. The feeling of being, because this is too abstract for us, is freedom. Through renouncing and surrendering, we come to rediscover being. In this chapter, there are many systems. They offered to us a systematic way to renounce and surrender to being. Anyone who's following these systems in a systematic way, then naturally this becomes systemic for them. This is how they live. They don't have to overanalyze. It is first filled with effort, then effortless. If you think of how an infant learns to walk, they have a system in balancing their legs or holding on to something. When they follow through, it's systematic for them. They stand up and then they're visualizing how it's going to be. And then systemic, now for all of us, I don't think you walk like that. It's effortless for you. The last system we flowed through was on composition, the composition of our personality. There are thinkers, leaders, mobilizers, and workers really the classification or differentiation of all of these is what they are living for. Those who are living for people, as compared to those who are living for purpose, as compared to those who are living for presence. As what you're living for evolves, so is the need for virtues. From 1 to 3 to 7 to 9, as the reason you're living for becomes more big, bigness, there's a shift from these being karmas to these being bhavas. Karma means action, bhava means attitude. The one who's living for presence, it is not about their action, it is about their attitude or intention. For all of us who have access to the inaccessible, to still live for people is a misuse of this opportunity. It is a misunderstanding of this community. We are living for, or at least we should be living for, from people to purpose, finally presence. The word Brahmana, in its most rigorous definition, is the one who is Brahma, as in infinite. We define these words in a light way so that we feel good about ourselves. A Brahmana as a thinker. Really, the rigorous definition is they are infinite. In verse 45, Sri Krishna begins a series of verses on how we can evolve what we are living for. And the methodology is really lovely sharing. It's almost like another system. Swadhyaya helps one with swabhava, which helps one with swakarma, which helps one with swadharma. That's the ends. When I get to know my inner world, Swadhyaya is getting to know. But getting to know what? Not the hair on my hands. My inner world, I come to understand my swabhava. So efforts to get to know one's inner world. Then I can manifest my swakarma or my outer world. And here I'm not going to use the word profession because I don't have a profession. I don't get a paycheck. But vocation. What you are living for, what you are directed toward, this will lead one to swadharma. One will know their nature, is that presence, is Brahma. Reading some insights from Pujya Swami Chinmayananda to make sure we are clear about this before we move on to the next verse, which you've already come across. Gurudev writes, each one is ordered by their own swabhava, and each can discover their fulfillment only in that self-ordered field of activity. Only. This thought will be emphasized in the next verse. I'm reading more. By constantly remembering the higher goal towards which we are working out our way, if we do our work efficiently, this vasana exhaustion takes place. What Pujya Swami Chinmayananda is teaching us, for there to be an alignment between our actions and attitudes, then we change our vasanas. and alignment. On Saturday morning, our children were playing, and they knew that I had lots to do. Sundays are demanding. Sheila was on vacation. And so Shuka had come and brought me a helicopter, a toy helicopter, and said, Appa, can you change these batteries? And he had such an alignment with me. He knew I was going to say no because I don't have the time right now. And also, I want them to be creative and imaginative. They don't need batteries. As soon as I said no, he looked at me and said, okay, I'll just pretend there's new batteries in the helicopter. And I was so appreciative of his alignment. Because of that alignment, he was not cranky. He was cheerful. Imagine we can have that alignment with all that's happening in our life. Next verse. 47. Shreyan swadharmo vigunaha paradharmat swanushtitat swabhavam niyatam karma kurvannapnoti kilvisham. Joy. I had mentioned you've already come across this verse. This verse came to us such a long time ago in chapter 3, verse 35. So much of a review is happening. Shri Krishna is the reviewer. Chapter 3, verse 35. So I'm reading the translation to you. Better is one's own duty, though destitute of merits, than the duty of another well performed. He who does the duty ordained by his own nature incurs no sin. I had mentioned to you yesterday that I'm going to share with you an entire section of Bhagavatam that is on vasanas. What is holding you back from being a Brahmana or infinite is vasanas. Here are the 3 ways to change our vasanas or our prince. Step 1 is exhaustion. Exhaustion. If one has a light vasana, when they actually have that experience, that vasana or print is exhausted. Step 2, this is to be practiced sequentially, is substitution. When one has a medium weight or medium level vasana, if you try to exhaust that, you're only creating more of it. So one has to take that vasana or print and substitute it with an alternative to try to have an experience you're oriented to, but for the intention to be pure. Step 3. If you've done 1, you'll get to 2. If you do 2, you'll get to 3, is disidentification. You cannot exhaust and substitute all of your vasanas. Impossible. So disidentification, it's when my vasanas have changed enough where I come to feel I am not my vasanas. I disidentify from the notion of being an individual. These verses are teaching us about how important vasana exhaustion is. Your print is your print. You exhaust it through your responsibility. Naturally, step 2 and 3 will happen. But if you don't know your print, and so there's no alignment with your actions or responsibilities, one will never be a Brahmana. One will never feel infinite. Reading one insight from Pujya Swami Chinmayana. Everyone has a precise place in the scheme of created things. Each one has their own importance, and none is to be despised, for each can do something which the others cannot do so well. There is no redundancy in the Lord's creation. Not even a single blade of grass anywhere at any time is unnecessarily created. That's how special you are, and all of the opportunities you had, have, will have. From inspiration to application. Your application was to use chapter 18, verse 45, and explain this, I think, to 3 people. I think that was your application from yesterday. I see no yeses, no nos. I think your application was to eat lobster and watch a wrestling match yesterday. No yeses, no nos. See, when you explain this verse, what happens is you develop a passion for it. This section or series is about passion. To have passion for your opportunities. Then there's this alignment, and you just feel lighter and lighter and lighter. Our application for this morning, May 8th, is just 48 hours, 50 hours away. For May 8th, I've challenged you, I've requested you to, number 1, schedule May 8th at 7 a.m. to join us. Number 2, to invite others, particularly those who are younger. Number 3 was to plant plants. Number 4, to donate dollars for water for people. Number 5, to collect litter. Not in Niagara Falls, where you are, your neighborhood, your park, etc. So this is all of the responsibility I shared for you. And so your application is, have you followed through? The scheduling, the inviting, the planting, the donating, the collecting. Yesterday in our Subodha Vedanta classes, I was speaking about dana, or generosity. The symbolism that came to my heart was the Pujya Swami Chinmayananda's our master key. Anyone who has a relationship with Sanatana Dharma or Chinmaya mission, I'm ready to guarantee that that has come through Pujya Swami Chinmayananda. He's the master key. All of the other centers and classes, those are copies of that master key. Shanti, 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 Be joy.